following along, if they've lost you halfway through a sentence, they're so busy in their heads, and I bet you've all done this, trying to translate what the first bit of the sentence meant, they've missed the important thing. The only thing people want to know about is, can you solve a problem? And can you solve a problem that I have? For instance, the minute you talked about therapy and fibro, I can't have a massage, I miss my massages. Suddenly, you can solve my problem. And I'm like, oh, my ears have picked up now. Oh, this is a woman that I can have a massage and it won't be as painful and she'll understand and it will all be safe and lovely. I didn't hear any of the rest. I didn't care about any of the rest. I'm not being rude, I love you all rude. But basically as humans we don't care about the rest. We care more about what problem can we solve. And that is so important. So I now know what you are, but I still don't know what you do. So when you talk to people, for instance, right, let's start over here with the lovely property lady. What do you do?
So I do property inspections for landlords and letting agents. But now from what you said, I'm thinking that I should have said, I protect you as a landlord and I help you with nightmare tenants.
A star to the lady who's listening. Absolutely.
Yeah, I shouldn't have said
no,
what
because,
I did, I should have said what I solved them.
Because actually to a landlord who's having issues, he's got all this and you're talking about reports and this and that, and I've got more things to think about. The minute you say, I can protect you, it's a quick up. I can save you from that's a problem I have. They're going to start listening and they're going to talk to you. So you have to identify the problem you solve. Therapists are they're not the worst for this, but it's more difficult because you've done all that training and all that. You're a therapist, you're NLP, and you're this and you're that. I mean, I'm an NLP master practitioner, but I never tell anybody because nobody cares. Because I just use those techniques in order to help people gain the confidence to speak. So lovely, and I'm rubbish with names, so everybody becomes honey, lovely and darling. What do you do?
I help people overcome their fears.
There you go, did you hear that this morning? Fear of what?
Themselves, primarily.
And how do we know we are frightened of ourselves?
We don't take steps to make ourselves happy.
So you have to, for you it's a bit about, if you want to be happy and you want to take those steps but you can't, and you watch people around you go, God, that's me, yeah, that's me. But when you throw the job description bit in, because they're just the tools you use, everything you use are just the tools to make somebody feel something. You have a whole plethora of tools to make a landlord feel safe. You have a whole plethora of tools in order that someone can take that step forward, can deal with the pain and actually have a massage, or can deal with the overwhelm that they get when they're stuck in one place or planning. That's what people hear. If they're reading in a leaflet, they can read through that and then go back to it and go, is that me? Well, I have a thing. Oh, I think that's me. Go back to it. And you're talking to them and they can't. So when you're doing your 60 seconds, that's what people need to hear. Love to think about, I take the boring bits and make, because that's really good, because actually we go, what boring bits? And actually you're drawing us in with a question we don't answer. Then you go, those bills. Oh, God, they are boring, aren't they? So you used a slightly different technique, but we're drawn into the, if you'd have just said, do you want cheaper bills? And we would go, yeah, doesn't everybody?
Yeah, everyone wants to sell.
Yeah, absolutely. You're just like, yeah, okay, whatever. And the other thing you have to remember is, all the time you're doing your 60 second, the one next door to you who's coming up next is scribbling, and what am I going to say now? We've only got half an ear on you anyway. What am I going to do? So, the first thing is, identify the problem. So can you all identify the problem you solve? You're smiling over here, and this is your over here. What problems do people have that you solve? Yeah, a bit deeper.
So they're embarrassed to talk about their business.
What does their website need to do?
Makes sense.
So if your website's not working and you're ashamed to even look at it, and you won't even tell people where it is because it's so awful.
Yeah, but I think website shame is like, people understand what that shame is to them, because it could be so many things. Otherwise you're given a whole list of different elements.
I love my website. I think my website's the best thing on God's earth. Nobody looks at it. My website's probably crap to everybody else. But I don't recognise the shame bit, because I did my own website and I'm really proud I did it, and to me it's just brilliant, it's got a unicorn on it. But actually, it's not doing what I need it to do, and it may be that I just need those extra bits to go, actually she's right, nobody does look at it, maybe it isn't as great as I thought it was, because I am now thinking maybe I should go talk to somebody else about it.
But you're happy with your website?
Doesn't mean it's doing its job.
Yeah, but so
do you only work with people who cannot do their website and are ashamed of their website? Or do you work with people who go, I think it's great, but nobody goes to it?
No, not really.
Okay, that's fine then.
Because they don't value that service. The fact you built it yourself means that probably you're not ready to spend that much money to invest in yourself to promote your business in that way.
That's fine. So you know that problem works. Okay, that's good. So we all know our problem. How do you solve it?
I've just realised there's more to mine. For many people, it's a flipping confusing market. Yeah. They go on, compare this, compare that. Martin Lewis throws another spanner in the works. Most of that is lies.
Yeah.
And actually, confusion is the biggest thing why people won't even be bothered to look or change.
Absolutely.
So confusion.
And there's also that thing about having a wad of bills at the end of the month, and what do you know, and have you actually paid that one, and having to double check and things like that. So there's all sorts of different reasons. But that comes on to a deeper talk about who you're talking to.
Yeah.
There's a whole other issue about who is your audience. If you're talking to tenants, your message is completely different to when you're talking to landlords. If you're talking to a group of business people about websites, it may be completely different to talking to a group of women who are just starting about web shame. So that's something slightly deeper. But now we know what the problem is, and we're all sort of sitting there going, yeah, that's me. How do you solve it? And how do you solve that problem? So if there is, and I have sat in meetings with 3 or 4 utility warehouse people or Arbonne people, or how do you personally solve that problem? And that's when the story comes in. That's where your backstory comes in. That understanding, that having been there. You're a VA. Okay, so what's the problem we have? Why do we need VAs?
Because we're not having enough time to do the background stuff and bring in new clients.
Okay, and the solution is
to hire a VA so that they can...
Why you?
She's great!
Any other VA? It has to be about why you.
Or USP, yeah.
I always struggle at that bit. Because...
Are you really organised?
I'm organised, I've got... I've solved many people's problems and helped grow their business.
Okay, so you've worked with lots of businesses, you're very efficient, you're very organised, and you're just what we need. And that's what you need to be telling us. Because most of us will have met lots of VAs, and it is why, but because you're telling us, and you're confidently telling us, that actually we should work with you because you're organised and you're effective and you've worked with lots of businesses, and we buy into your confidence. We go, oh God, she's going to help us, thank God for that. Someone's going to sort us out. It's like when we won't give up the cleaners. Once you've got a good cleaner, nobody else is allowed to have the cleaner because they've solved the problem. Nobody, and that's where you want to position yourself in. Actually go, no, don't tell her about her because she's too good and she needs to do my work. And you need to be the one who confidently says, I can do that for you.
Yeah.
Because you know you can.
Yeah.
You know you can. Good. So now,
People buy confidence. They do.
mostly because we're so unconfident ourselves. If we're running a business and we're totally overwhelmed with social media and doing the invoicing and ringing up people here, we need somebody to confidently look us in the eye and go, I can sort that for you. But if they're looking and go, well, yeah, I could, we don't buy into them. We think, well, she's not sure, how am I sure? And we almost want someone to tell us. We also want somebody to say, look, what you're doing is madness. Now, what I can do is save you time by taking all of this and sorting it out. I had an accountant client once, and she was, I'm an accountant, I do your books, I do this. Really? It came down to the fact that what she loved was working with spiritual alternative therapies. She loved that group. But her language was in the culture of accountants and books and end of year and taxman and this. When we brought it all down to it, it turned out she just did people's books while they slept. She was the finance fairy. You slept, she waved her wand, the books are done. And that resonated with the group she wanted to work with, because suddenly they felt safe. Somebody wasn't talking to them in a language that was like, oh, God, they won't like my biscuit tin full of receipts and they'll get really upset because I haven't. Suddenly it was, no, don't worry, I've got my wand on. And she does really well now, works with the group she wants to work with, and doesn't feel she has to be in a three-piece suit anymore and talk very corporately. She's found that solution she has for the people that have the problems she wants to solve.
I need an accountant.
Okay. Finance fairy.
I'll give you one. I can recommend an amazing account. He takes all the muddle out and the confusion, and he does it also really well, and he's really good at you not paying tax.
Okay.
Very interested in that one.
Back to the room. But then the thing about networking is people have those answers. So you're talking to someone who knows somebody, and you're talking to somebody who may have somebody who needs your services. But unless the person you're talking to understands what you're saying to them, they can't go away and tell other people. For instance, if I come across a landlord who's going, oh my God, I'm just driving me nuts. Hang on, look, I met a lady networking, and she protects landlords. She does things to help. I may not remember all the technical stuff, but I'm like, she does something to do with helping you stay safe. And actually, then you can give the number and they ring you and you do all the technical stuff because they understand that. But if I don't understand it, I can't pass that message on. So it's all about that extra bit. So, what is the solution you have? Your solution to web shame?
So a recent client, basically, what I create with the website is how you feel, because we buy from people. And so now she has this beautiful website that people just reconnect with her. And she said to me, I don't have to sell anymore, which is such a beautiful thing. People just give her credit card numbers now.
Okay. So why you?
Because there's a number of different reasons. First of all, I've got a huge background in biopsychology, especially online.
Perfect, yeah.
And also understanding how a website is put together so that you can manage it ongoing. So you don't have to call me to change a picture. You don't have to call me to change a word.
So you save time and money?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Not necessarily. It's not, I take a headache away, because you can spend a lot on a website by making lots and lots of mistakes, but it's depending on if you value, if you want to learn, how to build a website, you go ahead, that's absolutely fine. You can take time and money to do that, or not, that's your choice.
But it is about the why me at that stage. That's the next stage. When you're doing your 60 second, it's that one sentence of why me. For instance, if you come to me to be a confident speaker, I can change your mindset and teach you what to say in the right language to meet the clients you want to meet and talk to. That's why me. I'm not going to turn you into public speakers unless you want to be. I've been there and done it. I've been an actress, not a famous one. I've learned to speak. I understand how. So it is about why am I different to anybody else? And there's lots of public speaking coaches out there, and we all work completely differently.
Does your why need to be about you as a person, or can it be the USP of your business?
It can be a bit of both. For me, for instance, it's very much, you work with me, we'll have a lot of fun, I can be a bit of a bully, and I believe in zebra calls. If you get that, you want to work with me.
It's like, so when I say why us compared to our competitors,
Yeah.
we do high quality, hundreds of high quality photos, we're extremely detailed, we're set out by letting agents, by executive directors. But that's not about me, that's not my business. So is that okay?
But do all the other agents like you do that? Then you need to put words like unique, the only one, We can, because you're talking to someone emotionally. You make a list, we've all gone, okay, but I'll just go and see if everybody else does that. But if you say to someone, you say to somebody, we are unique in that we do this.
But does that not, like you were saying earlier, doesn't it depend on the audience you're talking to?
Yeah.
So I guess, if you're talking to a landlord and you accept them,
They want to be
know what
protected.
yeah.
But in your 60-second pitch, so in the last 5 minutes, the 60-second pitch has to have in it the problem and the solution. People have to hear the problem so that they can listen, and they have to know you can solve it. They have to know how you solve it, in a really simple way, and in words that make their ears prick up, okay? They need to know at this point whether you can work locally, nationally or globally, because that actually makes a difference. If people get really excited about your pitch and they haven't heard it before, and then just towards the end you go, but I'm not going to work with you, everything shuts down. But if it's a gentle sort of, you're pulling it in, so this is how your problem, this is how I solve it, this is where I solve it, these are my qualifications for doing, because I'm not going to go to a brain surgeon just because he happens to say I'm a really good brain surgeon. I need to know he's been and learnt that. Electricians, some people it could be, I've been there, done it, or in terms of therapy, I have those qualifications. As a speaking coach, mostly people just need to know I walk the walk and talk the talk. I don't necessarily have to have major qualifications. So you're building this picture. And then it's about telling them what they've got to do next. And it's the bit people forget. Because actually that's the thing the last thing you say is what people remember.
Call to action.
Call to action. Tell them what to do next. Whether that's call you, give me your card, let's sit down and have a one-to-one, whatever it may be. But what you're basically saying in a very simple, easy way is, you've got a problem I can solve. And I can solve it online or offline, or I have rooms that you can come to. I can work with you on your own or in a group. If you're really, really expensive, I'd get that in there, because if any of you got, I'm so excited, and they go, yeah, that cost you £8,000 a month. What? And I do say, if it is high-end, you have to sort of say, it is high-end, it's a big investment, but why that investment is that. I'm not saying talk money per se, but you have to pull people in very gently so they remember. Or they're going to go away, they meet their next door neighbour who's going, I want to rent out a room and I don't know how to do it. Or I just don't know what to do with my life, and they go, I just been at a meeting, this lovely lady, she does therapy, and she does it really nice for people with chronic, can't remember her name, but I've got this card. Go and see her. That's what you're looking to do. That's why talking about what you do in the simplest, easiest way possible is really, really important. And then when you're doing your written stuff, you talk to people like you, because when you write it, I'm rubbish at writing. I write like I talk. It's like, what's that? and there is such a difference. The message is the same, but the way people receive it is different. And when you have your 60 seconds, that is your introduction to your 5-minute, your 15-minute, your keynote speech, your presentation, whatever it is. It's structured. And once it's structured and you know what comes next, it's so less scary. Then in your head go, what comes next, what comes next, and you know, right, da-da-da-da-da-da.
So would you say if you were doing, say, 45-minute pitch, is it you take the same structure but you're just expanding each
Absolutely.
of those?
Once you start going bigger, start with the end. What is it you want to happen from your speech? And that's when we get into, there's a whole program about understanding the message in the audience. But every time you talk, you need a result. You're looking for a result. And whether that's other people sharing it or people coming to talk to you, understand the result you want from the people you are talking to. I always say, if you're a vegetarian, do not go and do a keynote speech at a butcher's conference. Waste of time. Unless your aim is to make butchers think about vegetarianism or vegetable sausages. All depends on the result you want. And that's why it's so important. If you have that structure and you understand who you're talking to and what you want to happen, that it becomes so less scary. So, and I have been asked to do speeches on the spur of the moment, and you'll see me with a thing going, okay, that's what I want to learn. And I will draw myself out quick so that I know I'm going from here to here to here. Rather than, oh, okay, I'll talk about this, and I'm lovely, and I do this, and I do that, and what am I going to say next? And I did this lovely thing last week, and come and talk to me, and you're just going, oh, she's lovely. Oh, I really enjoyed that. And they go out, I had a lovely evening. I can't really remember what it's about. It's a lovely evening. She looked really nice out there. So bubbly, so... No, I don't really know. Waste of time as business people. Think like men. Because men never do that. Men always tell you what to do next.
But then, Bev, there's this school of thought. People don't remember what you say necessarily, but they remember how you made them feel.
It's a bit of both. That's why I say, because it's emotional.
So that last minute or a few seconds is the
beginning
the killer.
and the end.
Yeah.
Like a sandwich, you cannot have a sandwich without a top and a bottom. It's not a sandwich. You have to know how you're starting and how you're ending. The middle becomes a lot easier. The middle is the meat in the sandwich, if you like, the how the therapies work, or why a website needs to be a certain way, or why a VA is much better for you from a productive point of view. But people will always remember the bit at the end. That's the summary. You summarise what result you want from people, and it is about how you. There's a lot about how you look, how you feel, the confidence that you're in. There's a lot more to it, but this is about your 60 seconds, and you've only got 60 seconds to tell people you've got a problem and I can solve it, and you need me because I am real and great. This is why you work with me. Any more questions? I do have a worksheet that I'm more than happy to put on the website.
I can.
It takes you through all the points. You scribble.
I can send it out with the email I send these
I will
guys
send it to
tomorrow.
You.
Yeah.
And that helps you just pull it all together and come up with a lovely 60 seconds. It will always be different. It won't be the same every time. You'll talk to different people. You'll be in different places. But in your head, you will know. You know, when that person in the pub goes, I was just overhearing you, and I went, what do you do? I protect landlords. I'm a landlord, how do you protect me? Well, I stop. Rip, you never know who's listening when you're chatting to somebody else. You never know. Any more questions? Clarification? Thank you.
That was great. Thank you.